There comes a time in life when everything feels like it's falling apart. The weight of your struggles, the pain of disappointment, the silence of unanswered prayers. It can feel like God has forgotten you. You've tried, you've prayed, you've believed, but nothing seems to change. And in those moments, the question creeps in, God, where are you? But let me tell you something. God has not abandoned you. What you're going through right now is not the end of your story. It's part of your preparation. The pressure, the pain, the struggles. They are shaping you, not breaking you. Every great testimony was once a season of testing. Every champion had to fight battles that seemed impossible. And every person who walked in their destiny first walked through a season of doubt, fear, and struggle. Think about it. Joseph was betrayed, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and imprisoned before he stepped into his purpose. David was anointed king, but spent years running for his life before sitting on the throne. Job lost everything before he saw restoration. Your struggle is not a sign of God's absence. It's proof that he is working. This is your moment to stand firm. This is where faith is built, where warriors are shaped, and where victories are won. God is not punishing you. He is preparing you. You may not see it yet, but the breakthrough is coming. The doors will open. The blessings will flow. And when that moment arrives, you'll look back and realize that everything you went through was necessary for where God is taking you. So, don't quit. Don't let fear win. Don't let doubt steal what God has for you. Trust Him. Hold on. Your breakthrough is coming. Life has a way of throwing storms at us when we least expect them. These storms come in many forms. Financial struggles, broken relationships, failures, disappointments, or even moments when we feel lost and uncertain about the future. It's easy to feel like these struggles are meant to break us, like we're being punished or abandoned. But what if I told you that the storms in your life aren't here to destroy you? They're here to reveal something powerful inside of you. Hardships have a way of exposing what's really within us. When everything is going well, it's easy to say we have faith. It's easy to trust God when doors are opening, when blessings are flowing, and when life feels smooth. But the real test of faith comes when everything seems to be falling apart, when prayers go unanswered, when the people we trusted turn away, when we don't see a way out. It's in those moments that our true strength is revealed. Think about a tree standing in the middle of a powerful storm. The strong winds don't create weak roots. The wind reveals whether the roots were weak in the first place. If they were shallow, the tree falls, but if the roots were deep, the tree stands tall even in the face of the storm. The same is true for you. Your struggles aren't making you weak. They are revealing the strength God has already placed inside you. They are testing your faith, refining your character, and preparing you for the next level of your destiny. Look at the story of Job. He lost everything. His wealth, his family, his health. Yet, through it all, he refused to curse God. His faith was tested in ways most of us can't even imagine. But in the end, he was restored with more than he had lost. Why? Because the storm didn't break him. It revealed his faith, his endurance, and his trust in God's greater plan. David, before he became king, had to run for his life. He was anointed, chosen, and called, yet he spent years hiding in caves, wondering when his promise would come to pass. The storm of his life didn't mean God's promise had failed. It meant he was being strengthened for the throne. His trials prepared him for the crown. What about you? What storm are you facing right now? Maybe you're in a season where everything feels uncertain, where the weight of your struggles seems too heavy to carry. But I want you to know this. God is not letting this storm destroy you. He is using it to reveal who you truly are. He is proving that you are stronger than you think, more capable than you realize, and more powerful than you ever imagined. Don't fear the storm. Embrace what it's revealing in you. Stand firm, hold on to your faith, and trust that when this storm passes, you'll come out stronger, wiser, and closer to the destiny God has for you. Faith is not about having all the answers. It's about trusting even when you don't. Too often people hesitate, waiting for the perfect conditions, for a sign, or for absolute certainty before they move forward. But faith doesn't work that way. Faith requires action. It requires stepping out even when you don't know exactly how things will unfold. It's about believing that God has already made a way, even if you can't see it yet. Think about it. When a person stands at the bottom of a staircase in a dimly lit room, they may not see the entire staircase, but that doesn't stop them from taking the first step. Why? Because they trust that the next step will be there. That's exactly how we are called to live our lives in faith. God never promises that we'll see the full picture. He doesn't lay out every detail in advance. Instead, he calls us to walk by faith, not by sight, and trust that he is guiding us. One of the greatest examples of this is Peter walking on water. When Jesus told him to step out of the boat, Peter had a choice. Stay where it's safe or trust Jesus and move forward into the unknown. He didn't wait for the water to turn into solid ground. He didn't ask for a full explanation. He simply took the step. And as long as he kept his eyes on Jesus, he walked in the impossible. The moment he let fear take over, he started sinking. That's exactly what happens in life. When we focus on the obstacles, the what-ifs, and the doubts, we start sinking into fear. But when we fix our eyes on God and move forward in faith, miracles happen. Fear will always try to hold you back. It will tell you that you're not ready, that you're not strong enough, that you don't have what it takes. But the truth is, you don't have to be perfect, fully prepared, or have everything figured out to take the first step. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. He is simply asking you to trust him enough to move forward. Abraham didn't know where he was going when God told him to leave his homeland. Moses didn't know how he would part the Red Sea when he led the Israelites out of Egypt. Joshua didn't know how the walls of Jericho would fall. He just followed God's instructions and marched. Every great move of God starts with one act of faith. So what is that first step for you? Maybe it's starting that business, forgiving someone, stepping into a new opportunity, or simply trusting God in an uncertain season. Whatever it is, don't let fear hold you back. Step forward in faith, not fear. Because the life you're praying for, the breakthrough you're believing for, the blessing you're waiting for, it's on the other side of that first step. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces you can tap into, especially when life seems uncertain or difficult. When you're in the midst of trials and challenges, it's easy to fall into the trap of focusing solely on what's going wrong. It's natural to feel frustrated or even angry when life doesn't go according to plan, but here's the key. Gratitude changes everything. Gratitude unlocks God's power in our lives. It shifts our perspective from lack to abundance, from despair to hope, and from fear to faith. When we choose to thank God, not just for the blessings we see, but also for the ones we can't yet understand, we align ourselves with God's will and open ourselves to his provision. Gratitude is an act of faith. It's trusting that God is working even when we can't see the full picture.